welcome to Your Health with Dina Khader. My name is Dan Rubidoux, and today Dina has offered to give us her 5 tips for the new year. I think we've all gotten through that holiday season, and it's the New Year's here, and we're thinking about New Year's resolutions and what we can do to really improve our health. And hopefully, Dina, you'll be able to give us some tips on how to do that.
Absolutely, Dan. One of my favorite tips actually is to make sure people are getting, cod liver oil or fish oil, but I usually prefer people to use cod liver oil because that's important for the joints. It's very important for brain health, by the way, too. So it really helps with depression and just those winter blues that people tend to experience at this time of year. And I always encourage people to get their vitamin D levels checked because this is the time of the year that your vitamin D levels are at their lowest. And you can always supplement with additional vitamin D if you need the additional vitamin D. But the advantage of the cod liver oil is the fact that you're not only getting the omega-3s and the omega-9s, but you also get the vitamin A, which many people don't get enough vitamin A, surprisingly, and the vitamin D. And it's best to choose, those cod liver oil products that have naturally occurring vitamin E, and there's no synthetic vitamin A that's been added to it.
I think everybody, my mom used to take cod liver oil, and I took it too. The problem is it doesn't taste good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people...
In the past, that's true, Dan, but nowadays the cod liver oil is so much better tasting. And a really good tip, by the way, is if you add a little bit of fresh lime to the liquid cod liver oil, you can really take it, because it tastes like a citrus.
Oh, really?
Salad dressing. It's really not as bad. But
are there any specific brands you can recommend?
The two that I like the most, actually, the one by Premier Research Labs. They have a very pure cod liver oil, and even the color is an amazing color. You can tell that it's a really good high quality. And the other one that I often recommend for those that are looking for something that they can find in the stores is the Nordic Naturals brand, because they flavor their cod liver oil so that it really masks, for many people, the aftertaste of the cod liver oil.
Okay, so get your cod liver oil. That's for the omega-3s, the vitamin A, the vitamin D. You can get everything in one way, and that's a fantastic tip. What else do you have for us?
Okay, that's one of the very first things that popped in my head. The other thing for many people is for them to find a new exercise that they really would enjoy doing.
That's a good tip.
Some people, it may be yoga. If you've never done yoga, try yoga. Yoga is amazing for the mind and the brain. It really helps calm the brain. It also helps produce endorphins, surprisingly. Even though we think of that only as being a cardio exercise, actually yoga does that. Some of you who've never done weight training may find that you might start to really enjoy weight training, or take a group class. Sometimes it's more enjoyable to be in a class setting than to just be doing your own exercising, solo. So, find something new this year that you can really take on and, get benefit from. Because you'll find you'll get improved circulation, your hands and feet won't be as cold, the endorphins are released in the brain, you'll be far more energetic, and you'll be much more positive. And the other thing is, of course, the days are starting to get longer, so that's another good thing that we have to look forward to.
It sounds like a good goal for the new year, is find something new to do. Last year I picked up kayaking, and boy, that really got me out there. It was so much fun, and you could feel, as soon as you're really enjoying an exercise, you don't even realize how much benefit you're getting until you kind of look back on it like, wow, I got so much more energy, and this is great.
Right, and I'm glad you brought up the kayaking, Dan, because that brings me to the next point. My third tip for the new year is, do something outdoors. Because of the lack of light, many of us do get the winter blues, and one way to really minimize that is to be outside, again, for a minimum of 20 minutes. We need that light, and if you wear glasses, take your glasses off for at least the first 20 minutes of the exercising that you're doing. You could even be going for a walk outside, but do something that you might enjoy. Maybe walking on the snow for the first time. Just make sure you wear appropriate, foot gear, because, the snow is slippery. Just, make sure that you're careful.
Now, what happens, I would love to get outside more often. I'm not going to lie. I get stuck inside. I'm in the office. I'm working. Things get busy. What do you do if you're stuck inside and you just can't get out as much as you want?
Well, that's a very good question, Dan. What you can do is use full spectrum lighting.
Really?
So for those of you who can't venture out, and because you have long hours and it's always dark by the time you leave to get to work, and then when you leave from work, it's still dark. Full spectrum lighting, and many places you can find it in stores. You can find it online. It's a very easy thing to find, but it mimics sunlight, and it also helps our brains, to think that we're actually sitting in the sun.
Great, that's fantastic advice. That's definitely something to look for. What else can we do?
Okay, another thing to do is, because the availability of fruits and vegetables at this time of year is limited, I usually recommend that people to actually take a really well-balanced food-based supplement with fruits and veggies. You can either take your green supplements separately and then do the fruit one as a separate one, or you could take something that's combined, whatever works for you. Those of you who enjoy your juices, if you do a black cherry concentrate or a pomegranate concentrate, and then just dilute it with water so you don't have as much sugar in it, that's a very good way to get actually a high amount of antioxidants, and probably more efficient because it's in a liquid form, so the absorption is much better as well.
So if you need to supplement, if you can't get the juices, if you can't do that, are there
Sure.
perhaps some antioxidant supplements you would recommend?
Absolutely. There's a very good, well-rounded multivitamin that's also food-based. It's called Intramax, and that has whole foods in there, fruits and vegetables, as well as your general, vitamins and everything. But it's a very tasty.
And that's a liquid too, right?
It's a liquid, exactly. And you only need to do 1 to 2 tablespoons a day away from food. Keep it away from food, and you get very good results. And then for the greens powder, my favorite one that I recommend is the one by Premier Research Labs.
Okay.
Because they do a very high quality greens powder.
Great. Do you have one more for us?
Yes, absolutely. For those of you who are fighting 15 to 20 pounds, hopefully you haven't gained that much during the holidays. But let's say even if it's 5 pounds, 3 pounds, whatever it is that you might have gained, a very healthy, easy tip to do is to start drinking hot water with lime. If you don't like lime, you can use fresh lemon, but it has to be fresh, either fresh lime or fresh lemon. And drink that throughout the day. And what it does, it improves digestion, it cleans, the gallbladder, it helps to act as an appetite suppressant, and it's a great way to get your whole system moving. And you'll find that you'll start to drop weight just adding that and replacing, using that to replace your coffee and your black tea.
So drop the coffee, drop the soda,
Absolutely.
switch to water with lime, and that's good. I mean,
it is good. And there's
pleasant.
something about the heat, Dan. Whenever you drink anything that's hot like that, it does raise your body temperature, and that also can help improve, metabolism too.
Fantastic. Okay, so to kind of go over this, get your cod liver oil. That's very important
Right.
for the reasons you went over. Make it a goal to find a new exercise this year.
Yes.
One that you enjoy and one that you'll get a lot of value out of. Make sure you're getting natural light, either by being outside or using full spectrum natural lighting.
Very good.
Make sure you're supplementing your antioxidants, either with extra fruits and veggies or with a supplemental product.
Right.
And finally, switch from that coffee or soda to a hot water with lime and watch the weight drop.
Right. Absolutely.
Fantastic. Well, that's excellent advice. Thank you, Dina. We, as always, appreciate it, and we hope to see you next time.